Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to receive the form that we get from the create method right there, right? And then we're going to process in our store right here. Now we're going to create a job in order to actually create a post. All right, so open up your terminal and we're going to create the job as PHP artisan make job. And we're going to call this one create post. All right, so it's kind of descriptive, so you'll know what this job will do. So press enter. As we can see, job created. So let's quickly go there. So add post. All right, so let's go there to this job. All right, so there's a couple of things we need to do as we can just open our post model as well. Right, as you can see, title, body, cover image. This needs to be an image. Publish, add, type, and all the rest. So let's quickly do that in here. All right, so let's quickly go here. So we're going to create a private variable, and we're going to do this one is for the title. Then we're going to do another one for the body. Okay, so I'm quickly going to type them out. Right, so we've got a body, image, published, add, type, photo created link, author is commentable, and the tags right there. Right, so now the next thing we need to do is we need to add that in our constructor. Right, so the first one, this one is going to be, so let me quickly show you. Because there's so many, I will actually put them underneath each other, but it's the same thing as doing it like this. So string title, okay, title like this. The next one is for the body, string body. Okay, so instead of putting them in one line, all right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them underneath each other like that. Okay, so I'll see you after this. All right, so I got my title, body, image. Just make the image because sometimes the value is going to be nullable. Okay, and then the published ad, then we got the type, and this field is going to be nullable as well. Then for the string, nullable, and then we user for the author, then boolean for the is commentable, and an array for the tags, like that. Right, so that's basically how we're going to do that. The next thing, and then we're going to set the values like this, dot title is equal to title, and we're going to do this same for the rest. So this body equals to body. Okay. And this must be comma, like that. Also, when you do it, kind of stay consistent. So if you made the title first, just kind of keep them in the same order as well when you created the variables right there. And when you add them in your constructor, just keep it the same order as this as well. Okay. So we got our title, body, image, published, ad, type, photo credit, the author is commentable, and the tags. Right, the next thing that we want to do is we want to create a public static function. Right, and this one is going to be called fromRequest. Right, if you guys remember from when we actually created the job for the tag, we used the same thing, but in this one, let's bring in our post request. Call that one request, and we're going to do self. Right, just make sure you import the post request, this one right there. That one, just make sure you import it right there. And just make sure you bring in the user as well. That model's user, that one right there. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to basically return a new static. Okay, now this is very important what I'm going to say. Just make sure that, like I said before, just make sure the order you put them in here, and then put them in the same order here, and you're going to put them in the same order in your static right here. Right, so the first one is the request title. Then we do the request body. Okay, and the other one is like the published ad date. I'll see you after this. Right, so as you can see, The title, I make them the same. The body, kind of in the same order like that. Right, so just make sure you image, published at, type, photo credit, and photo credit link, author, commentable. Now you might wonder, where do I get this from? So let's go to our post request. Let me show you. Those fields I'm calling from here. All right, the title I'm calling from here, body from here, the request image, the type, published at, and all that kind of stuff. Calling it from here. All right, so let's go to the create post. The next thing that we need to do is we need to actually create a post. So let's go there, just add the post like this. And let's create a new post, and that's going to equal to new post. Right, let's start off with the first one. And this is going to be the title. And this is going to equal to this title. The next one is the body. That's going to equal to this body. Right, I'm going to do this one for the type. And that's going to equal to this type. Remember, the type is if it's a standard post or it's a premium post, because we're going to determine if the user is subscribed to a plan. If they subscribe to a plan, they can be able to view a premium post. Right, the next thing is the photo. The photo credit text. The other one is a photo credit link. Okay. The other one that we're going to add here is commentable. Okay. Now the is commentable. This one is going to be if this is basically true. Okay. Commentable. Right. Now the thing is, what I will do is I'll do a ternary operator. Now if this is commentable, right, so what will happen is it will send a value of 1. Okay, so let's quickly go to our PostContoller. Let me just show you. From the previous episode, I've asked if we can add the value of 1. So 1 actually means true. Okay. So if the person selects that field. Right. So a true will come to you. So this will basically show that there is a value. If there is a value, what we're going to do is we're going to set the is commentable to false. Okay. And if there's nothing, we're going to leave it as true. Okay. So that's basically how we're going to do that. Because let's quickly open the migrations. Let me just show you why, because I don't want to lose anybody. But let's go to the post. Okay. When we actually, by default, we're going to allow comments with a default value of 1. All right. It's a default state of that Boolean field. Okay. True. Okay. So if we get a value of 1, that means there is something. So the person wants to disable the comments. So what we will do is we will set the value to 0. All right. So if the person wants to disable the comments, we set it the is commentable to 0. And if there's nothing there, we set it to true. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. Right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to let this post be authored by somebody. Don't use this is authored by. All right, this just returns a Boolean, right, true or false. We use this for our, basically our policies. Don't use that one, okay? The one that we need to use, make sure that you put authored by. So this just assign an author, okay, to this author, like that. All right. The next thing we want to do is we want to sync the tags. All right. So remember, we created a sync tags method inside our hashtags trait. Okay. Then we just want to set it to this tags, like that. All right. The next thing on the list is we're going to save image service provider. Okay. And then we're going to upload the image. Okay. So let me just make sure I import this at the top. Right. So as you can see, it's already imported right here. Okay. This service. So we're going to upload the image. The first part is the image. So this image. Okay. The next part, as you can see, it's the model. Which model? We're going to put in the post model. This model right here. All right. The next part is basically under which folder are we going to save it? And we're going to use the table of posts. Okay. So as you can see, the folder is post right there. So that's all done. And then let me just show you actually why. Let me just go here. So if we go to the storage, app public, you'll see we've got a post folder. So that's why that folder is post for that. Okay. So after that, what we want to do is we just want to return the post. Okay, so everything should work quite nicely now for us. All right, so just pause the video. Make sure you have all the relevant fields. If you have any questions regarding this, please ask them for me in the comment section. All right, so let's quickly go to our PostContoller. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to dispatch this job. So dispatch, sync, and then we bring in CreatePost, right? And we're going to create the post from the request, and then we pass in the request like this. Okay. Now the request is our custom post request, the one that we created. All right. So it validates everything in there. We get that request, put it in here, send it through to the request, and it handles it all right here. Okay, so let's go to our PostContoller. So after we've done that, we're going to return redirect to a route, and it's going to be admin post.index with a message of success, and it's just going to do post created like that. Right, you can obviously put anything in the message right here, but I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Obviously, just make sure you import the CreatePost job. As you can see, I got it in right here, so all good. All right, so let's quickly see if we can create a post. So the browse the image. Okay, so just select an image. Right, and then we're going to add a title. Just some gibberish. Just choose a date, any date actually. Get some tags and photo credit, and we want to disable the comments. All right, let's quickly see if we can actually create this post. All right, so as you can see, post created. So let's go to the end right there. All right, so as you can see, we created that post. Okay, all good. All right, so let's quickly see if we can get that image. So we go to app, public, post, and we got our image right here. So everything works quite nice. We got our image. All right, so let's go to our database and see if we get the post. All right, so as you can see, we got our title, we got our basically our body in here, and we got our image. All right, so obviously the next thing is we need to create a slug as well from this post. So we need to use an observer to create a slug. So as you can see, the comment is disabled right here. That's exactly what we were looking for. All good. All right, so let's quickly create an observer. So to do that, it's PHP artisan make observer. And we're going to call this one the post. So, like this. Okay, then we press enter. Unable to find. Right, I created a class before. That's why it's giving me error. So let's quickly do that again. Right, we got our post observer created. So let me close this off. So let's go to app observers and a post observer right here. Please enter -m for post, because what it will do is it will create a resource observer, and I don't want to type in all the methods, so it kind of gives you everything out of the box. Okay, so let me do that. All right, so let's go to that observer, app observers, post observers. As you can see, it gives us all the necessary methods. So when a post is created, what I want to do is I want to post slug. Okay, I want to equal to a string slug. Right, just make sure you import this at the top, right here, eliminate support, right here. Right, so the first thing we want to do is for the post slug, okay, what we want to do is we want to take the post name, okay, and then we want to concatenate basically a hyphen, like this, and with the current timestamp. So now, timestamp. Okay, the reason for that is because every post is going to be unique. I want a unique slug. Okay. Now, we have different authors, and they might more or less have the same post title, and I don't want to take the risk for that. So what I want to do, every post I want to create a unique slug, because later on they might write a post, let's say in a year, with the same title, but what I want to do is I want a unique timestamp for their title. All right. So the next thing what we want to do is we're going to do a post save. All right. Just to give you an explanation of how this will actually look like, it will be, let's say the title is John Fish Jones. All right. And we're going to add an hyphen and then the current timestamp, something like this. All right. So that's basically how this slug will look like. Just a unique slug. So if the other person have the same title, maybe in a year or 2 years, it's not going to be the same because of the timestamp right there. Okay, so that's our observer. The next thing we need to do is we need to register this observer. So let's go to our app providers. We go to our event service provider. Right, in your event service provider, we register the tag observer right here, and I just want to add the post observer as well. Okay, so just make sure you bring the post observe, the post observer class right there. Just make sure you import the necessary ones on top. All right, so that's it. Now we're all done. So now we can create a unique post, and it will create a unique tag as well. All right, so I'm running out of time. So that's it for me, guys. So if you like the video, please give it a like. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, please leave it for me in the comment section. I'll read them. And yes, see you guys in the next one. Adios.